This is Barbara Ridge, and I'm delighted to be here today in the home of Bill and Fletch Leslie, charter members of Pelham Road Baptist Church and longtime friends for 37 years. Let me talk about first thanking them for their many ways they have helped the church keep the Central Baptist dream of a vibrant church on the east side alive.
Central Baptist Church had felt God's call to put a new work out on Pelham Road, and at that point Pelham Road was like out of town in the boonies. There was very little growth out there, and so they found this 16-acre plot, and they invested in that. Now Central Baptist Church was a well-established church, but by this time their congregation was mostly elderly people. And so in that, we had to assume a lot of the responsibility ourselves. So, I mean, I had never been to a church where you had to take your turn cleaning the church. That was one thing. We cleaned the church. Every Saturday night when it was our turn, Lisa, Laura, Bill, and I went to church. The girls were old enough to empty the garbage cans and pick up papers and pick up bulletins and that kind of thing. And Bill and I would do the vacuuming, the mopping, the cleaning of the bathrooms. And we took turns doing that. Every family had a turn, and we all took care of the janitorial duties. Not that we were thrilled about them, because most of us don't even like to do that at home. But anyway, in retrospect, it was an honor to be able to do something like that, because how many people do I know who've ever been a part of a mission church that becomes a church, and that they are there for 50 years to celebrate the anniversary of the church? So we did all of that. We had to do the outside maintenance. One of our members had a tractor, and so I volunteered to cut the grass on occasion. And that was pretty exciting, because I'd never driven a tractor, and I wasn't really sure exactly how it worked, but they showed me, and I was able to ride that tractor and cut all of that front part. I don't know as I went to the back, but anyway, we did those kinds of things. And we had suppers that we had that would bring people in, and we had people who had special dishes that they fixed. And although people didn't want you to know that they were getting ready to riot to the table, everybody wanted Lenore Warren's asparagus casserole, Francis's macaroni and cheese. So, I mean, even though we were trying to be kind, we were jockeying for first place so we could get some of that. These are the kinds of just sweet memories. And when we were trying to do something for Central, Pat, and I can't remember her last name, but anyway, she was in charge of the youth at that time. She decided, well, the youth will give roses to everybody who's over like 65 in the church. Well, they found out we couldn't afford that. There were too many over 65. So I think they had to raise it up to about 80 or something. So these were people who felt God's call, and even though they did not have a lot of money, they gave what they had. And I view our church almost as the widow's mite church. And
you had mentioned earlier how the church at Central was made up of elderly people. I remember you telling me a story about a lady who donated a baby bed. Yeah. It was very touching. Could you share that with us?
Yes. We finally got to the point where we actually had a baby in the church. And I'm not sure, it could have been Michelle DeVita. I just don't remember. But anyway, we were struggling financially, and we needed a baby bed. Well, there were no funds for the baby bed. But word got back to Central that we needed a baby bed. And oh, how I wish I could remember this lady's name. She had been saving for a new coat. I think it was for 3 years. And she had finally saved up enough money to buy herself that coat. And when she heard that the mission needed a baby bed, all of a sudden, that next Sunday, there was a baby bed in the nursery, and she did not get her new coat. Now, what kind of devotion is that? That is the widow's.
Deep
that is
devotion.
the widow's mind. I mean, how could you not be touched with people who were on fixed incomes, who didn't have much money, but who felt that call, and they knew God wanted them to place something out on Pelham Road, and they did it. And that is one reason we have stayed all these years. God has never let us anywhere else, and we have felt ourselves Central's call, and we have tried to honor that. And it does bring tears to my eyes to know how this vibrant church that we call ours now got started, and it was because of love, faith, and hearing God's call.